Hi, my name is Armand Smit, and I'm the director of AllVit Juice Bar, South Africa. I want to welcome you to this presentation and thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. I'm also assuming that because you're watching this presentation, you've already been contacted or have been in contact with one of our national distributors or our trade partners. And I'm also assuming that you've seen one of the machines or that you've looked at one of the catalogs. If not, please go to our website and there's a couple of videos there, or download one of the catalogs to familiarize yourself with the machine. So in this presentation, I'm just going to go through the quality of the machine and the benefits of the machine, and then also the deals and the possibilities that it might have for your store, and also for the benefits that you will be able to offer to your customers through our exciting juicing machines. So the MyVitaminBar brand was established in 1998, and they specialize in the design and manufacture of high quality juices, and they hold worldwide patents on some of the technology of the juices. Now, the technology that makes these juices very special is, firstly, they are all self-rinsing machines. Secondly, they've got a preset measurement accurate scale, which means if you set your juice bar to juice 300 milliliters, you've got no waste. The machine cuts off at 300 milliliters, which makes your costing points extremely accurate. So the AllVit company, we've been negotiating with MyVitaminBar Greece since late 2017, when we saw their machines operate in Europe. We then brought the machine over to South Africa, where we had it tested to make sure it was up to the SABS standards for South Africa. And then we also proceeded in getting all the import permits, the quality assurances for South Africa. So in 2019, AllVit, as a company, was then appointed the exclusive distributors for MyVitaminBar in South Africa and the Indian Ocean Islands. We then brought two machines in early 2019, of which the first machine was installed in Knowles Super Spa in Pinetown, and the second machine was installed in a Cotswolds Energy Centre based in Hillcrest. Now, for those of you who don't know, that's a Caltex Fresh Stop, basically a petrol station with a very nice restaurant, deli area. So, and both of these machines were of the same size, a 1.2 meter machine. You guys will get the different machine sizes a little bit later in the presentation, or if you look at the catalogs. So the machine that was installed in Knowles Super Spa, they currently juicing between 25 and 50 servings per day. And the machine that was installed at Cotswold Energy Centre is juicing between 30 and 70 juices per day. Now, this is very interesting because the Cotswold Energy Centre is a lot smaller. It's basically a petrol station, a lot smaller store than the Knowles Super Spa. And it's outselling it. And one of the main reasons it's outselling it is purely because of the type of client that goes to the Caltex Fresh Stop, and also the way that the machine presents and the way that they present the offer to the client. Now, since these machines have been installed, it's now been about 8 or 9 months since they've been installed. Both machines are running without any maintenance being done to them, which is a little bit of a testimony to the quality of the machines and the ease of use. When we install the machines, we do training with the people that's going to operate the machine, and there's a maintenance program that's also part of the lease agreement with the machines. So this is the machine that was installed at the Knowles Super Spa. This used to be their sushi area that they removed, and they bolted into the counter of the machine. Now, the presentation here can be better. It's still a visual sale. If your presentation looks nice, the people will want the juice, they'll be drawn to the machine, and your sales will definitely increase. Whereas if your presentation is bad, the association with the juice is also unfortunately bad. So in this particular store, they opted to go quite heavy on the branding in the early couple of weeks. So we got branding on the floor, a small stand banner, a flag banner, and on top here, which you can't see in this photo, there's a massive 2-meter menu, and there's also a menu on the side and a menu on the machine. This is the machine that was installed in the Cotswolds Energy Centre. It looks like it's standing a little bit in the middle of the floor, but it actually fits in quite nicely with their refrigerated fruit and veggies. And then obviously everything here that reaches the sell-by date, they move over to the juicing machine, and rather than throwing it away, they are marking it up quite significantly. You'll see there's a price difference between what this store is selling the juices at than to the spa, and that's merely because this guy buys his fruit and veggies through a middleman and not directly from the market as what the spa does. There's also branding in the window here. It's a one-way branding, so you see it from the outside, but not from the inside. And then they've got this big 2-meter banner standing outside. So everyone that fills up with petrol, they see this banner. Now, you guys are, or if you're watching this presentation, I'm assuming that you've got a retail store or quite a successful restaurant or outlets, quite a busy outlet, and that you are aware of trends. But just to make you guys aware, I'm going to just show you 3 articles that were published recently. This was the Business Insider for South Africa, and it was published in February of this year. And the article dealt with the 6 best businesses to start this year. This is not 2019. And the third one was new beverages. And this is what it says. It says South Africans are becoming more health conscious about what they drink and are experimenting with alternatives to the SA staple, the fizzy cold drink. A gap in the market will emerge as the major beverage retailers struggle to adjust to the South African evolving palate. They are often just not quick enough to adjust to the changing consumer taste, particularly the taste of millennials. And this is the advice that they're giving to the stores. They say, think less about a standard fizzy drink, but rather one that's kind to the body with natural ingredients as non-alcoholic, such as water plus, say, cucumber or another ingenious ingredient. The market for this will grow significantly. So basically what this is saying is that South Africans are becoming health conscious. The fizzy drink, people are realizing there's additives, there's sugars, and there's all kinds of stuff that's not necessarily good for you in it. And they are asking for a more natural, healthier alternative. And that is the market that our machines are directly going to cater to. Another article that was published in the South African Food Review. This was published in 10 September 2018, towards the end of last year. It says health juice trends to watch out for. According to a recent survey, the fruit juice market in South Africa continues to grow as more and more South Africans are looking to adopt a healthier lifestyle. People are becoming aware of what's in their food, and they are asking for healthier alternatives. Now, this was published in the Food and Drink International quite recently, on 27th of August. Now, this was a study that was done in Britain, but we all know that South Africa trails Britain by a year or two. And thus, it's very good to look at the trends that's developing in Europe. So this article says, the manufacture of fruit and vegetable juice was the fastest growing subsector in the UK food industry in 2018. The latest data shows that more than half of people aged 16 to 24 consume juice drinks at least once a day. The last decade has seen the food and drink industry shaken up with huge shifts in consumer buying habits, from growing interest in veganism to juice and smoothie diets. Manufacturers are having to respond quicker than ever to develop new products to meet consumer demand. Now, this is just an interesting footnote there. Sales of UK manufactured beer have meanwhile hit their lowest level in a decade, as young people increasingly turn to alcohol-free alternatives. So this is probably what we can expect to be happening in South Africa within the next couple of years. And we're already seeing it, and the market is trying to answer the question that the people are asking: what healthy fruit drinks are there for us to consume? Now, there are a couple of brands that's been trying to fill this market, and Nourish is one of the biggest South African brands, and they are doing amazing digital marketing to get their products out there, offering detox programs. So you buy 5 juices over a period of a week. The problem that they, however, have is their shelf life, and you guys might be familiar with it. They sell for around about 35 Rand for 300 ml. The price might differ between stores, but it's always in the frozen section. So their fruit juices, they need to keep it frozen to provide it with any kind of shelf life so the end consumer can get hold of it. Then Surf fruit juice is probably one of the more successful ones. Exactly how they do their preservation and how they keep their shelf life, I'm not 100% sure, but they've got quite a nice range with fruit and vegetable blends, and they're selling it for around about 25 Rand for a 350 ml serving. Then there's brands like Rawlins. They were quite big a year or so ago, but have since diminished or gotten quite small. I'm not 100% sure if they're still on the shelves. And the last time I saw one of their drinks being sold was around about the 31 Rand for 300 ml. Obviously, that's store dependent. And then last year, Woolworths launched a drink range, and they're selling 24 Rand 99 for a 300 ml. And then the same, what seems to be the same one, just in a smaller container, for 17 Rand 99 for a 100 ml. So that's an amazing markup. And all of these are just raw fruit and vegetables, either squeezed or juiced in some manner. There's some way that all of them preserve it. I know Rawlins are doing the HPP. I'm not 100% sure how Woolworths is preserving theirs. But the main problem that all of these have is how do they get it to their customer in a fresh form with no additives in it, and at a reasonable price. So then in KwaZulu-Natal, there's a brand that's growing quite nicely. It's called the Juice Kitchen. They've got their own outlets, and they are also very big on upselling in the terms of selling certain programs, a detox program or a weight loss program. So the housewife or the person that's interested in the drink will come and he'll buy his juice for the day, and then he's upsold for a couple of juices per day to complete some kind of health program that they run it. And they're doing very well, or they seem to be doing well. So they're selling around about for 28 Rand 95 for 300 ml. Then there's the Soga brand. They exclusively in citrus, selling for about 15 for 250 Rand ml. This one is also kept frozen. Both of these are kept frozen. And then there's the, I don't want to call it the industry standard, but the one that everyone's aware of is the Kuhai brand. They're selling it for 43 Rand for 350 ml out of their own outlets also. And they've got some very nice menus where they sprinkle a little bit of honey, and I'm not 100% sure what on it, but they offer their clients quite a nice one, but it's at a premium price. So what makes the AllVit Juice Bar units the best, and what makes them stand out above these other brands and the offering that we can offer? So if you've seen one of the machines, the first thing you'll notice is it's large, it's well lit showcase, it's got a presence in your store, and if it's well stocked and you got quality fruit in there, customers are automatically drawn to it because of the way it presents. If you haven't seen one of the machines, please pause the video, go look at one of the machines somewhere, and come back to the program after the presentation. Then they've got a superior juicing extracting ability. So the quality of juice that you get out of it supplemented by the quantity of juice that you get out of it. So if you're going to juice a fruit or a vegetable, you are guaranteed that you get the most juice out of that product that you put in there. So your cost conversion is very high on the machines. And then one of the patented aspects is it's self-rinsing. Now, what the self-rinsing means is that you don't have to wash the machine like most juicers throughout the day. Every 5 or 10 juices, you got to dismantle the whole machine, take it back to the kitchen, get it washed. It's time consuming. It's heavy on the machine if you open and close these machines the whole time. Our machine is self-rinsing, which means every time that after you juiced it, there's a button that you press and water flows, gets sprayed into the whole system that got into contact with the juice. So it washes your blade, it washes your pipes, it washes your nozzles. And the benefits of that is also if your one customer took, for example, a ginger shot, and your next customer is not interested in taking a ginger shot, then you just wash the machine and it washes everything nice and clean, and your next customer won't have the taste of the ginger or the what else is got the mint or spring onion or beetroot leaves or any taste that you might not want in your machine. Okay, and then we've got the serving accurate measurement scale. So what this allows you to do on the machine is most of the machines, other than a 0.75 unit, has got 2 juices in it. So you can set the one juicer to juice at 300 mils, and you can set the other juicer to juice at, for example, 100 mils or 200 mils or 250 mils or whatever you choose to juice it at. And once your machine is set up and your training is complete, the machine will cut off once it reached that preset volume that you want to serve, which means that you're not left with a 50 mil or 100 mil or 200 mil in a jug somewhere that you overjuiced and that you can't serve to your client. So your wastage of juice on these machines are vertically zero, which makes your costing very accurate. Then the machines are very low maintenance. If you guys have seen a physical machine, or you handled or you operated one of these machines, you would have noticed the machines are heavy. They are solidly built. They've got very strong motors, and they will last. So the quality of the machines are very high, and they are very easy to install. The machines basically come as a plug and juice machine. They've got single phase electricity. They're on wheels, so they're easy to move around, and you literally just have to connect your water in and your water out. So on that point, because they are self-rinsing, they need a water supply that goes in and a water outlet that goes out. The water supply in is exactly the same connection as a washing machine or a dishwasher, and the water out is a gravity-fed, just a flow out that easily connects to any drain system. The water in needs to be under pressure, so any municipal water supply is more than sufficient. So both of these are very, very easy to connect to the machine. So if I show this photo to you, those of you that are watching this presentation that's got some kind of retail store already, be it a fruit and veg, a Pick and Pay, a Spar, or whatever your brand is, all of you would recognize a fridge like this in your store somewhere. Now, what we always tell our customers is a fridge like this is purely a display fridge. They are often understocked. This might not be the case with you, but we've seen it time and time again that these massive fridges are just there for display purposes. And then in the back, some of the stores that are trying to juice, they've got little juice machines in the back there, and they use this whole fridge up just for those little juice machines. And or they've got this is another store that's doing juicing, and this is actually they actually got quite a nice juice bar, but we can definitely upgrade it tremendously and make it much easier for them and the clients. So they got a whole bunch of juices in the back here. The client will come and choose his fruit. The lady that serves the client will turn their back on the client, and then they'll try and juice all the different ones with all the different machines they got here. And if you notice in these jugs here, the amount of juice that's left over after each juicing, there's a massive wastage here, and they can't really serve an accurate serving to the clients. And this is what we want to replace with our machines. So what we suggest is throw these machines out your store, install one of the AllVit Juice Bars, and you can replace this fridge with a money-making fridge rather than just a display fridge. This is another juice bar. Very nice presented, very nice run. But if you notice in the back that they got 3 expensive machines that's non-refrigerated. The lady that serves the client turns her back on the client while she plunges away there, tries to get the correct blend and the correct measurements, and there's always a little bit left in the jug there that gets thrown away because you can't serve it to the next customer. Okay, so the opportunity that the AllVit Juice Bars are offering to the retailer is firstly to greatly increase your margins on existing in-store fruit and veg. So by juicing any fruit and veg in your store, your margins on that is significantly higher than selling non-juiced fruit and veg, so selling the fruits whole. So as soon as you take an apple and you juice it, your margins go up, or your sales price go up 300%. And then obviously you can profit from fruit and veg nearing the sell-by dates or damaged fruit and veg. All of you guys have got apples that get delivered that are a little bit bruised. Their shelf life is very short, and then usually those fruit and veggies they get thrown out. So what we're proposing is instead of throwing the fruit and veg out, slice it, bring it to your juice bar, the juicing machine, and juice that as the customers request the different blends that they are blending. So rather than throwing it away, we juice it and we make a 300% margin on something that you would have lost. And then it's the massive unique selling point that you will have in your store. Like I've already mentioned, these machines are very attractive in store, and the honesty behind the machine. So your customer sees in front of them how the fruits that they selected is being placed in the machine. So first your customer, he selects his ingredients, he sees how it's juiced in front of him, he sees where the juice comes out, he takes his cup and he goes to the till point or the paying point or however you choose to manage it. So there's a very attractive selling point that gets your customer involved in his own juicing experience. And then because your customer is seeing it happen in front of him, he can see that there's no fresh, or he can see that it is fresh, that there's no preservatives, no colorants, no additives, there's no sugars, there's no preservatives, there's nothing in there that a health drink shouldn't have in. And then you're turning your regular display fridge into an active profit generating machine. So naturally, the machines are built in such a way that the display cabinets are refrigerated. So because your fruits are running at 4 degrees, your juice is naturally cold as well. But that you don't just have to display fruit and veg in your machine that you're actually going to use for the juicing experience. You can supplement the display with juices that are already in the bottles, or with ready-made salads, or with yogurt blended fruit breakfast tubs, or anything that's complementary to the health message that you're trying to portray with the juice bars and the offer that you're trying to offer your clients. And then the machines all come with a maintenance program included in the monthly lease. Now, this maintenance program includes most of your wear and tear items, so your buttons, your nozzles, your blades, some of the sieves. That's all included in the lease with the maintenance plan. And most of these items are just you plug the one out and you slot the other one in. So you don't need a trained technician to come and do these things for you. So this is just an example of one of the menus that we've helped one of our clients develop. So on the menus, we don't dictate a menu at all. We assist store owners or clients with menus if they request it. But each store owner, if you're a restaurant or if you're a retailer or whatever outlet it is, you know what fruit and veg you've got in your store and what prices you get them and what your clients might be interested in the most. So we work with you guys. We develop a menu and you guys choose the names, or we can suggest some names. And on the menu, this is also where the clients often ask us, well, what about winter? Surely your sales decrease in winter. Yes, they do decrease a little bit. But then to mitigate that, the names of our juices come in quite handy. So you'll see the first one on this menu is called the Immune Boost. So in winter, people might tend to buy coffee a little bit more, but now because he's sick, he's looking for something to boost his immune system, so he buys the Immune Boost drink. Or he's feeling a little bit tired because he's sick, so he buys a V8 Energy Boost. Or there's a detox meal, there's a sunriser, there's a no stress, or there's a memory boost, slim and sexy. And then obviously the AllVit brand's favorite is the AllVit, where we try and mix and match a bunch of minerals, vitamins all together. And then you'll see at the bottom there, it says there's a make your own. Now, this is the one that we try and punt or push quite hard, because this is where the retailer has got the opportunity to put any fruit and veg that's nearing the sell-by date, regardless if it's mentioned on the menu or not, into his juice bar. And as the clients come up, the lady that serves it or the person that's serving your customers can say, hey, we got, for today only, there's strawberries in our machine. Why don't you guys try a strawberry juicer, because it's usually not in our machines. So this is where you can upmarket stuff that you would have thrown away. So on the menu, we try and keep it simple. You'll see, for example, on this menu, like here by the AllVit, we've got pineapple, orange/watermelon. So whichever one is in season will be the one that's being juiced that day. Broccoli, that makes the juice, especially if there's a broccoli and a grape combination in a recipe. This ingredient for this particular one is obviously a lot more than the ingredients for this one. So the way that we help this retailer get to this selling point is we physically went and we calculated the ingredient cost for each one of these recipes, and then we just took the average. Now, the one on this menu that's the most popular is the Immune Boost, and the Detox Energy Boost and the No Stress ones are quite popular. The expensive Memory Boost with the grapes and the broccoli in is not not the most popular. So his costing point on this particular menu is approximately 3 Rand on average, for if we combine all the recipes together. So then the numbers, this is where most of you want me to get at. So let's start on this side first. So there's a range of units, of which the smallest one is the 75 centimeter unit. This is the only unit that only has one serving nozzle. And then the standard sizes go up 1 meter, 1.2 meter, 1.5 meter, 2 meter. Then there's a 90-degree corner unit. There's a raised unit, and they've got their own water supplies. So there's a tank built underneath, so you don't need plumbing to the machine and running from the machine. And then there's a raised 1.2 meter machine also. The monthly lease for the machines, these prices might not be valid anymore. They might have increased slightly, depending on when you're watching this. But this is more or less the ballpark of what the monthly leases are. And this also includes the maintenance with the machine. So the suggested retail that we suggest, you guys choose 100% what you're going to sell it out. These are just suggested values. We don't make more money if you sell more or if it's expensive or more. We've got a fixed monthly lease amount. And the reason for that is also because we want our machines to do well for our customers. We benefit from the more juices you guys sell. The way that we benefit is that other stores see that you guys are doing well and the word spreads. And that's how we get more machines into store. But we don't make more money if you guys make more money. Our costs are fixed. So what we suggest to the guys is if they try and sell it around about 26 Rand, and then the serving costs, we've calculated to be roughly about 5 Rand. This will differ between where you get your cups, your cup sizes. But the way we got to 5 Rand was on average between 2 Rand 80 and 3 Rand for your physical ingredients, your fruit and veg that's going to go into your drink. And then there's 1 Rand for your cup or your glass that you choose to put it in, about 50 cents for your electricity. Keep in mind this machine uses more or less the same amount of electricity as a normal display fridge. And then there's a 50 cents for the odds that we didn't think of. And the idea is not to hire a lady or a service person specifically for the machine, but that the machine goes close or in your deli area, and that your existing staff just doubles up and they serve this machine also. Now, obviously, if you're going to start serving 150, 200 cups per day, you're going to employ a full-time person to run your juice bar, but by then you won't be concerned about the cost for her salary because you'll be making loads of money. So the break even on, let's say, the 1 meter machine is on this calculation is 10 cups per day. That's your break even. And then your profit, if you're selling 50 cups or 50 servings per day, roughly at 26 Rand, minus your monthly lease, your remainder profit is approximately 25,000 Rand. And just keep in mind, that's the lease already deducted. So your break even is 10 servings per day. If you manage to read 50 servings per day, which are the machines that are already installed are getting very close to or exceeding already, your profit on this machine is 24,000 Rand. Now that's not taking into consideration the value of the fruit and veg that you would have thrown away. This is assuming that you're juicing A grade fruit and veg, no other added benefits to it. It's 24,000 Rand. So it's quite an attractive offer for the retailers. The customers are absolutely loving it. They're loving the interaction. They're loving the honesty behind the machine and behind the offer. And the answer that we're trying to question is, firstly, for the retailers, how can you guys offer your customers a fresh, honest, healthy drink? It's an answer to what can you guys do with your 2.5% to 5% of fruit and veg that most retailers discard every month. And that's for your customers, an honest solution to getting a fresh fruit juice, a fresh drink, a fresh fruit and veg drink, and to get them to move away from necessarily the fizzy drinks. So the special offer that we are currently running, depending on when you watch this video, it might still be valid, it might not be valid. So I would encourage you to get hold of one of our distributors as soon as possible if you want to take part in the special offer. We are offering the SA launch prices, which is the prices that I showed you in the previous slide. Again, I will stress, I'm not sure for how long those prices are going to be valid. And then your first month lease is free. So if we install your machine, we give you 1 month to operate the machine, run the machine for free, and then your lease contract will initiate and commence. We also supply you with free AllVit artwork and designs. So when the machine comes and it gets installed in your store, we'll do the training. We'll negotiate with you or discuss with you how big you want your menus, what artwork you want included, do you want any of our banners, do you want any of the flags, and then we'll design that for you, and you guys just pay for the physical hardware. So we pay for the design, and the stores pay for the physical hardware. We'll offer you free menu development assistance if you guys want to make use of any of our menus. or bounce some ideas off with us. We'll gladly assist you to do some cost calculations. We've got quite a bit of information that we usually send to the retailers, where it stipulates what fruit and veg are good for what ailments, or for what, for example, arthritis, or if your customers have got eye problems or diabetes or weight loss, or all fruit and veg is good for something. So we try and mix and match them together so you can make a special offer. So let's, for example, say your store is situated or surrounded by 5 retirement villages. Then we'll tailor make or advise you to tailor make your menu in such a way that it resonates with your local customers. If it's next to a sports field, you'll have a V8 energy boosters, or up and go type names for your juices. So we will offer you free assistance on all of those. And then limited time special offer is a lifetime fixed monthly lease amount. So if you guys are one of the first guys or one of the early uptakers of the machines, your lease amount will never increase. We'll fix it for the life of the contract that you sign on the machine. And so the longer you have the machine, the more money you make. Our cut gets less and less and less every month, and hopefully you make more and more and more. So at the moment, all the machines, all the retail stores that have taken machines up are making use of the AllVit Juice brand, because there's value in brand awareness. If your customer sees the brand, he's going to know the quality of the juice, and the likelihood of him buying from you because he associates it with juice that he already had increases quite dramatically. And that brings us to the end of this presentation. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch it. Thanks for watching it all the way to the end. If you've got any questions, please, that we haven't addressed, please send me an email or speak to one of our trade partners that will be able to answer that for you. And we hope to hear from you soon, and happy juicing.